Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the push from mostly conservative voices to get the president of Harvard, Claudine Gay, fired due to her testimony at the congressional hearing on anti-Semitism on college campuses. Now, this is a very interesting story. There's a lot of moving parts. You have diversity, equity, and inclusion, race, gender, ethnicity, religion, conservative, liberal, woke, non-woke. All that stuff is right here in this story. But first things first, let's back up to give proper context so we can go forward. Now, it was not just Claudine Gay at the hearing getting grilled by the likes of Elise Stefanik, the GOP House rep from New York. No. You had 4 people who were getting asked the same questions about anti-Semitism on campus, and they all happen to be women. Now, I don't know if that was done on purpose or if academia at this point is a matriarchy, but that's a different story, and I digress. Now, in addition to Claudine Gay, you have the president of Penn, Liz McGill, the president of MIT, Sally Kornbluth, and a professor of Jewish studies at American University, Pamela Nadell, and that's them right there. All right. Now, as I said, it was not just Claudine Gay who faced this kind of problem. It was not just her who was being grilled. I think they were all questioning whether they were going to resign or not after the testimony. You see right here, the president of Penn, Liz McGill, just straight up resigned. She's like, okay, you know what? I'm done. All right. I'm out. I'm done. And that's that. Now, Claudine Gay went in the same way. She says, I'm not going anywhere. And as a matter of fact, it wasn't just her who said that. And I don't think it was actually her. It was the board unanimously said, no, we're not going to get rid of her. She's going to be here. And that's that. They're not going to let her go. Now, personally, I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised at all. First of all, you have the gender part, the race part, and she just became the president in July of this year, 2023. So about 5-6 months, a brand new fresh president, the first black president of Harvard ever in the 300 and almost 70 years of existence. They're not going to get rid of her over this. And this issue of quote unquote anti-Semitism and whatnot as it relates to Israel is not really a thing that has that much widespread support. It's mostly conservatives that talk about this, and liberals are not on the same page with them. They're just not. Okay. Now here is somebody that says they signed a letter with over 770 black Harvard alumni. And by the way, Elise Stefanik is also Harvard alumni, 2006, different story. 770 black Harvard alumni and allies and counting signed a letter says that they support Claudine Gay. So this is not a thing that's really have a lot of widespread support. All right. And then there's more here. Another letter, same thing. They support her. All right. Now, SNL did a cold open in which they mocked the hearing that I showed you some of in the very beginning. And we'll get to that a little bit later. They did a cold open and they were lampooning Elise Stefanik and those who were grilling the university presidents. They were lampooning the questioners as being ridiculous and over the top. And they did not have the side of Elise Stefanik. They were against her and they were in favor of the university presidents. Now, understand this. Saturday Night Live is not a place where you could say they are anti-Semitic. I mean, I guess you could say that, but it'd be ridiculous because that's one of the most Jewish institutions on television. Okay. Now let's go here. This man right here, Lorne Michaels, this is basically the godfather of SNL. And he is very, very, very Jewish. I'm talking about he was born in British Mandate Palestine in 1944 in a kibbutz. Now, when he was a baby, they left and went to Toronto. That's where he grew up. But he was born literally in Palestine before it became Israel. So, I mean, to say that this guy is an anti-Semite is kind of hard. It doesn't make any sense, right? And again, SNL had the back of the university presidents who are being accused of being anti-Semitic and who are being asked to resign by mostly, again, conservative voices. Now, we're going to get into the testimony and a few more things. If you want to see any of these clips, any of these videos and whatnot, I will link to them in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
We have breaking news this morning. Harvard University's president will not be forced to resign. Claudine Gay has been under fire since last week's controversial testimony at a congressional hearing on campus hate speech and anti-Semitism. As Nicole Killian reports, Gay still has strong support from Harvard faculty members.
Harvard President Claudine Gay will remain at the helm of Harvard University after members of Harvard's governing body said they unanimously stand with her this morning. In a statement, they said Dr. Gay is the right leader to help our community heal. The decision comes after calls for her resignation over this testimony last week on Capitol Hill.
Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
Alumni and staff.
So that right there, like I played earlier, that was the main thing people were upset about. They were saying, oh, it's no context, it's inexcusable, all this, that, and the third. So then that became a rallying cry for mostly, again, conservative voices that say, hey, she needs to get fired. Although, as you're going to see in a minute, all the other people that were there had pretty much the same answer.
Rallied to Gay's defense Monday. To date, more than 700 faculty members signed a letter urging Harvard's governing boards to resist political pressures that are at odds with Harvard's commitment to academic freedom. History professor Allison Frank Johnson co-authored the letter.
We need to make decisions about leadership based on a sober view of what a person has done and what they have the potential to do, and not in a moment of panic.
Gay apologized for her testimony, but it did little to slow down the calls for her resignation from Washington lawmakers to wealthy donors, including Harvard alumnus and hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, who said all the university presidents who testified last week should resign in disgrace.
See what I'm saying? So everybody that was there, they're saying that they should resign. I think the reason why a lot of attention is being given to Claudine Gay is because she's black. And I'm not trying to allege racism. I'm talking about, this is a thing. Well, let me explain. I think what's happening is she is a person that people would look to as a potential victim. Okay, they're picking on this black woman. So it makes for really good news. Have her as a headline, say that conservatives are racist, they hate black people, and they want her to get fired. But again, everybody was called to resign, not just Claudine Gay, but the focus is on her. You see how that works?
Disgrace. Saturday, Penn President Liz McGill resigned, while MIT President Sally Kornbluth has received strong backing by the university.
They all had pretty much the same answer. It depends on the context. So I think, again, the reason why Claudine Gay is the headline is because that's it's a lightning rod. You got race and gender, everything else in there. It makes for good clickbait and everything. It makes for a good way to attack the right from the left. That's just what it is, my humble opinion. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everybody who understands a little bit of nuance. And I don't think that either side is 100% correct. And the conservatives trying to push this issue onto liberals, good luck with that, because y'all don't agree on anything else. Why would you agree on this? How would you put pressure on Harvard to fire her when y'all see academia as this woke cesspool that can't be saved anyway? We got to use our brain. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this whole situation with Harvard and Claudine Gay and the other institutions, MIT, Penn, and American? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm not surprised at any of this, not at all. This is just pretty much how it is. I think that this issue of Israel, Palestine, the conflict is pretty complex. It's not just one way. It ain't just one way. It's not just, okay, if you say that you don't like what Israel's government's doing, then you're an anti-Semite. And I don't think that a lot of these liberals look at the situation the same way as some who may identify as conservative do, if they have a nuanced point of view. Like, I'm seeing people that have on T-shirts that say queers to Palestine. I mean, there's a lot going on here. But one thing I know for certain is that the conservative point of view in this whole situation does not appear to be the mainstream point of view at all. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.